Hey guys, do you remember this from last year? The median sales price as of today, September 24th, 2020, is around $260,000. Oh my, how things have changed in 1 year. Today we're talking about the new cost of living in New Braunfels. So if you're getting ready to pull the trigger and move into New Braunfels, please watch this video first. And if you've already made the move to New Braunfels, let us know your comments in the comment section below. Are you paying more here than where you're from, or less here than where you're from? We'd appreciate all the shares possible so we can all learn right here. And if you're new here to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Just hit that subscribe button because we're putting out new videos about what it's like to live in New Braunfels every single week. So you guys are having these deep thoughts about moving to New Braunfels, but you're not quite sure. You're a little bit nervous. Is it going to be worth it financially, or is it just going to break your bank? Well, it all depends on where you're coming from. So today, we're not going to take the easy way out and just compare New Braunfels' cost of living to the national average. We're going to get much more trench, down to earth, grassroots specific, so that you have all the information that you need when moving to New Braunfels. So today's video is all about the cost of living comparisons with the states where the bulk of our client families are coming from: California, Washington State, Oregon, Arizona, and New Jersey. The biggest cost of living factor always is going to be housing. So let's take a look at what that looks like right now in New Braunfels. The median price of a home in New Braunfels right now is $325,000. That is up $65,000 since our first video about New Braunfels cost of living last year, September 2020. So since that video, the price of a house here has gone up over 20%. Those are the homes in 78130 zip code, which is the city. In the outskirts, i.e. the hill country area where you have more land, home values have shot up over $100,000 to $560,000 compared to $445,000 a year ago. So $325,000 in the city and $560,000 in the hill country. Keep in mind, folks, these are median home prices. That means not all the homes are priced $325,000 and $560,000. We wish, right? There are homes that are going to sell above $325,000 and $560,000, and homes that are going to sell below $325,000 and $560,000, and that's how we come to the median home price. The biggest reason for a housing spike is the pandemic. People found out, hey, we can work remotely, so we can move. We don't have to be tethered to our states anymore. So they're finding a place in New Braunfels that has less government interference and more conservative values. So that's why they're landing here, and in large numbers, as reflected with our new construction activity. But we have a problem. We don't have a whole lot of inventory homes for sale right now. Our inventory is half of what it was last year at this time. So simple supply and demand. We have a whole lot of buyers, just not a whole lot of homes, and the prices are naturally going to go up. But why New Braunfels? This is a place most people have never heard of before. Location is a big one. Right between Austin and San Antonio, there are a lot of pros of living in New Braunfels. Our ultra-active outdoor lifestyle with our two rivers, our huge water park, Schlitterbahn, our award-winning parks, our hill country area, our timeless and charming downtown, our historic district of Green, our restaurants reflecting our Spanish and German heritages, our schools, our year-round events and activities, including the granddaddy of all events and activities, Wurstfest, shopping, small and big, and the friendliness, the kindness of the residents living in New Braunfels. But are people moving to New Braunfels getting in way over their heads financially? Let's get right to it. Let's get to the new cost of living in New Braunfels. We are comparing groceries, food, transportation like gas, utilities, home prices, of course, and any miscellaneous items. Let's start in California, where the bulk of our families are coming from. One of our families is from the Bay Area, East San Francisco, and they tell us that groceries here in New Braunfels is about 20% cheaper than it was where they came from. Gas, where they came from, is about $4 a gallon. Right now, New Braunfels, it's under $3 a gallon. All right. That's fair. What about housing though? Well, our Bay Area family tells us that housing prices in New Braunfels are actually 30 to 40% cheaper than they are in the Bay Area, and our HOAs here, we know this, are way cheaper than they are in California. And the family tells us the quality of construction, the homes in New Braunfels, are better than they are in the Bay Area. All right, so moving from California to Texas and New Braunfels seems to be a financial win. What about you guys? If you've already moved to New Braunfels from California, let us know what your cost of living comparisons are in the comment section below. We can all benefit from that. We have client families coming in from Oregon and Washington State, so let's see how those two states compare to the cost of living right here in New Braunfels. Our client family from Oregon says they used to spend about $120 on groceries and food every single week. Now, living in New Braunfels, they're only spending $90 a week. In fact, they told me specifically 3 small pieces of meat in Oregon cost them $20, and for $30 in New Braunfels, they get a 5-pound piece of brisket, pre-marinated, and it lasts them the entire week. Utilities, that's kind of a tough call because the family says there's no AC in Oregon because it's cooler there. No sales tax in Oregon, but there is an income tax. No income tax in Texas, but there is a sales tax. Gas in Oregon is around $4 a gallon, and as you know right now, it's under $3 right now in New Braunfels. What about housing? Well, a house in Oregon, built in the 70s, only 1,000 square feet, small backyard, sells for $425 compared to a house here in New Braunfels, new build, new construction, twice the square footage, around 2,400 square feet, selling for $100,000 less. And maybe that's why our client family from Oregon is smiling and walking right now. They're getting ready to close on their first home here soon. Let's get to our client family from Washington State that moved here several months ago, but already feeling the effects, the positive effects of cost of living comparisons. They're paying less for groceries by about 16%. Utilities like sewage, water, garbage, gas, electric, they're paying less for utilities as well. And a gallon of gas here in New Braunfels is 90 cents cheaper, they say, than it was in Washington State. The client family from Washington State does point out that our property taxes here in New Braunfels, Texas are higher than they were for them in Washington State. We'll give them that, but there are ways that you guys, and you live in New Braunfels, you can save on your property taxes. We did a video on that on homestead exemptions. The video link is in the description below. Please watch that. You'll find it very beneficial financially. It always comes down to housing, right? Or why would you move? It wouldn't make sense. Well, this Washington State family sold their 2,600 square foot home on 1/4 of an acre in Washington State for, get this, $980,000. And they bought their new house, new build in the New Braunfels area, a little less square footage, around 2,400 square feet, on a little less land for $330,000. So $980,000 in Washington State, they sold their house for, and they bought one here for $330,000. So I think that New Braunfels gets the edge in cost of living when it comes to comparing against Washington State. If you guys are from Oregon or Washington State, let us know your cost comparisons wherever you are in those two states and you moved here in the comment section below. Are you saving here? Are you spending more money? We would like to hear from you. Arizona's up next because we have client families moving from the Phoenix area, but is it worth it for them to move to New Braunfels financially? Apparently so. Groceries, food, utilities, transportation, gas, home prices, and miscellaneous items and healthcare are all more affordable in New Braunfels. We have families moving from the East Coast as well. One family from New Jersey, only been here a few months, but can already notice the cost of living comparisons in their favor. They say it's much more affordable to live in New Braunfels than it was for them to live in New Jersey. Things like meat, they say. Meat is much more affordable in New Braunfels, about by half of what they used to pay in New Jersey. And fresh fruit. They say, hey, the basic things like fresh fruit is more affordable in New Braunfels. Water and electric, they're paying less for that right here than they were in New Jersey. And their cable bill, they're paying about half as much as they were paying when they lived in New Jersey. Gas in New Jersey is around $4 a gallon. It's under $3 a gallon here. Housing, the family tells me, is much more affordable in New Braunfels. They said they sold their house in New Jersey for around $600,000. They told me that same house sells for in the 4s here. So that's a look at the cost of living comparisons between New Braunfels and the states where most of our families are coming from. I really hope this information helps you guys out. And if you moved here recently from another state to New Braunfels, Let us know, please, in this video, your comments. Are you saving here? Are you spending more money? And in which areas? We'll all benefit from that. And if you're thinking about moving to New Braunfels after you crunch the numbers, I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You guys can email me. You know the drill. You can call me or you can shoot me a text. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.